Welcome back to another episode of Python, and today we're going to be making a word guessing game with 9 lives. So basically, in this game, you're going to have 9 lives to guess a word. Basically, like 9 tries to guess a word. I'll walk you through it, and at the end, hopefully you understand. If you don't, put that down in the comments. In this nerve-shredding game, you have to guess the secret word one letter at a time. If your guess is wrong, you lose a life. Choose your letters carefully because you only have 9 lives. Lose all your lives, and it's game over. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below if you need any help for more quality Python. This program shows you a mystery word with its letters replaced by question marks. If you guess a letter correctly, the program replaces the question mark with the correct letter. When you think you know what the word is, type it out in full. The game ends once you enter the correct word or have no lives left. If you guess the correct word, you win the game. If you lose, which means you don't have any lives left, you lose the game. Each correct letter guess reveals one or more letters in the secret word. Each wrong guess makes a heart disappear. The lives will be in shapes of hearts, and there's a code to write out each heart, and I'll be showing you that code today as well. How does this work though? First, you'll create 2 lists, one to store the secret words and one to store the clue, which is made up of question marks. Then, using the random module, you'll make a random selection from the list of secret words. Next, you'll build a loop to check the player's guesses and also create a function to update the clue as the word is slowly revealed. This type of code is called a flowchart. The flowchart looks complicated, but the code for this game is relatively short. The main body of the program is a loop that checks the guessed letters to see if they're part of the secret word. And if the player has any lives left, they win. The letters, numbers, punctuation, and symbols that can be displayed on a computer are known as characters. There are characters for most of the world's languages and special characters for special pictures, including emojis. Characters come in sets. For example, the ASCII, American Standard Code for Informational Interchange, character set is used for the English language. For the hearts in this project, which will represent your lives, you'll use the Unicode character set, which contains a lot of different symbols, including the ones that I will show you. I know that sounds really complicated, but I'll walk you through it. Don't worry. Let's set up. First, create a new file in your IDLE, or create a new Colab in your Google Colab, or if you're using REPL IT, create a new REPL. Let's start by importing our first module called random. If you haven't seen my lesson about what all these modules do, go back to my previous video and I'll explain everything. Now let's start by importing random, our random module. And then let's make a variable called lives equals 9, since we're going to have 9 lives in this game. So below the import line, create a variable called lives to keep track of the number of lives the player has left. Now let's make a list. The program will only know the words that you give it. You'll need to put these words in a list, then store the list in a variable called words. We're going to add a line beneath our lives variable, which is going to store all the words our user is going to have to guess. So let's create a variable called words. Make that equal, and let's put some words in. Let's pizza. Let's add some fairy. Don't add really complicated words because 9 lives won't be enough. Add like simple words that like used in your everyday life and are easy to guess. You can create your own words, but I'm just going to use these random selections of words. Now let's choose a secret word. At the start of each game, the program will randomly pick the word that the player has to guess and store it in a variable called secret word. Let's add a line to create this new variable. Okay, so our variable will be called secret underscore word. You need an underscore, guys. Don't forget that because there's no spaces in Python. Random, let's use our random module, dot choice word. So this is going to pick a random word from the string from the variable words. It's going to pick a random word. Either pizza, fairy, teach, shirt, otter, or plane. Okay, now let's store the clue. Now let's create another list to hold the clue. Unknown letters are stored as question marks. These will be replaced when the player guesses a letter correctly. At the start of the game, the whole list is question marks. You could write it as clue. You could write it like this: clue equals list question mark question mark question mark question mark. Because since all our words are 5 letters, let's have 5 question marks. Because each letter will replace 1 question mark. These 5 question marks are stored as a list in the variable clue. Now let's show the live left. Let's create a variable called heart underscore symbol. Okay, here's the part where I was talking about before. We want to create the shape of a heart. But you can't write heart because Python doesn't know that. So there's a secret code in Python where you can write heart. You can write the shape heart using this line of code. I'll be showing you. So U single quotes slash backslash U2764. Okay, this is the code for making a heart symbol. This project uses the Unicode heart character to display how many lives are left, to make your program easier to read and write. Let's add this line of code to store the character in a variable. Now let's remember the result. Now let's make a variable to store whether or not the player has guessed the word correctly. This variable is set as false to begin with because the player doesn't know the word when the game starts. Let's type a new line below the code for the heart symbol. Guess underscore word underscore correctly equals false. I'm storing it in the variable false. This is a boolean, true or false value. You can go back to my booleans lesson if you need help with booleans. Basically, booleans are true or false values. Okay. Be careful to only add words that are 5 letters long, okay? Because there are only 5 question marks. If you add words that are more than 5 letters long, the code will just be confused why there are only 5 question marks. So be careful to add words that are 5 letters long. This list that stores the clue only has room for 5 characters. If you add words of more than 5 letters, you'll see an error message when the program tries to enter any letters past the 5th one in the clue. So if you want to add a 7-letter word, then all your words have to be 7 letters. If you want to add 2-letter words, all your words have to be 2 letters. If you try to add words that are less than 5 letters long, the program will work though. But the player will still see 5 question marks. They'll think that the answer has to be 5 letters long. Don't confuse the user. The player could never win because the last 2 question marks would remain no matter what letter they guessed. So do not confuse the user and make your game playable. Now let's get into the main code. The main part of the code is a loop that gets a letter from the player and checks if it's in the secret word. If it is, the code uses a function to update the clue. You'll make that function, then create the main loop. Is the letter in a secret word? If the guessed letter is in the secret word, you must update the clue. To do this, you use a function called update_clue. This function has 3 parameters. You can go back to my functions lesson if you need help with that too. So the 3 parameters are the letter being guessed, the secret word, and the clue. Let's add this code after the guessed_word_correctly variable. So let's create a function. Let's define it by saying def. So let's call our function update_clue. Because we're now defining our function, guessed underscore letter. That's our first parameter. Our second parameter is going to be secret_word. Our third parameter is clue. And don't forget your colon at the end. Now let's make our index equals 0. I'll explain this code at the end, guys. While index. This is our while loop. Len secret word. Oh yeah, don't forget your underscore. Secret underscore word colon if guessed underscore letter equal secret underscore word. Index equal guessed underscore letter. And finally, let's make our last one, index equals index plus 1. Okay, you guys are probably confused what I wrote here. Let me just explain it. This function contains a while loop that works through the secret word one letter at a time, checking whether each letter matches the guessed letter. The index variable, which I've put up here a lot, keeps count of the current letter as the program scans through each word. If a letter matches, the program inserts it into the clue using index to find the right position in the list of question marks. I hope that's clear. If it's not, put that down in the comments and I'll be sure to get to you as quick as possible. Okay. Now let's go to the part where we have to guess a letter or word. Okay. Your program should keep asking the user to guess a letter or the whole word until they either get the correct answer or run out of lives. This is what the main loop does. Let's add a code below our update underscore clue function. Let's make a while loop called while lives are greater than 0, which means you still have lives left to play. We're going to print clue. We're going to print our clue variable up here. Okay. And now we're going to print lives left, colon. We're going to finish that over there and just add our heart symbol variable. Underscore symbol. And we can't really write 9, multiply by 9 here. We can, but it's a little much easier if we just write times lives. You can put like comments in your code if you need help understanding what the code does. So you can write like random comments. If you need help if you need to know what the code does, if you come back to refer it later in your coding life. Now let's make our input statement called guess underscore input, which is basically gonna ask our users input of what they think the letter or word should be. Letter or word. So we're asking the user to guess the letter or the whole word. Okay. Add a space after a colon so it becomes more neat. Now let's make our if statement if the guess is equal to the secret word, which means if the user guesses the secret word, we're gonna say the guessed underscore word correctly is now that boolean is now going to be equal to true. And now we're going to break the code and say game over since he won. Okay, let me just explain what I wrote so far. This part shows the clue and how many lives the player has left. Over here, this loop keeps running while there are lives left, if they have more than 0 lives. Over here, down here, when the word is guessed correctly, this line breaks the loop. This line. Break. Okay, let's move on. After that, another if statement. If guess in secret. I know this lesson is probably really complicated, but just ask me if you need any help down in the comments, okay? Guess secret underscore word clue. Okay. Else. Let's add our final else statement. Print incorrect. So if the player guesses the wrong letter or the wrong word, we're gonna print incorrect. You lose a life. And this whole loop will run again until the player guesses the word or runs out of lives. So we're gonna subtract the life now. Over here we added a life, and now we don't add lives. But over here we subtracted a life. If you guys want to make your game even harder, increase the number of lives. You can make from 9, you can make like 13 or 15, but we're just gonna keep it 9 for now. You can also add levels in your game. You can make your game easy, which would mean you only have 5 lives, medium, 9 lives, and hard. And easy could be like 15 lives. And medium is 9 lives, and super hard could be like 3 lives. You can make your game as hard as you want or as easy as you want. It's completely up to you. Let me just explain what this code means right now. This line, if the guessed letter is in the secret word, the clue is going to be updated. That's what this line means. And this line, if the guess is correct, else, the else statement. If the guess is correct, the number of lives is reduced by 1. If the guess is incorrect, so else the guess incorrect, you're going to lose a life. The code print lives left plus heart symbol times lives uses a neat trick to display a heart for each remaining life. You can tell Python to repeat a string to a specific number of times by multiplying it by a number. For example, print heart underscore symbol times 10 would display 10 hearts. But you can try how many ever lives you want. It's completely up to you. Okay, did you win though? Our next line of code will tell you if you won or not. When the game ends, you need to figure out if the player has won. If the guessed underscore word underscore correctly variable is true, you know the loop ended before the player ran out of lives, so they've won the game. Otherwise, the else statement, they've lost. Let's add a new code to the end of our program to finish off our game. If guessed underscore word correctly, so if they guessed the word correctly, they're going to print, you won. The secret. You can make this whatever you want. You can tell the user anything you want and they won the game. The secret word. Secret word. You won. The secret word was. Yeah. And now I'll print the secret word. Pretty simple. And don't forget to add a space here. Otherwise the was will combine with the secret underscore word, and you don't want that. It's gonna mess up your writing. But it won't be the end of the world, don't worry. Else, if they lost the game, they ran out of lives, we're gonna print you lost. Try again next time. You can make this whatever you want, don't forget. Try again next time. The secret word was, and we're gonna add a thing. Okay, now let's test our code. Wait, before we test it, this part basically means this is the shorthand for if guessed underscore word underscore correctly equals true. This is the short form. Since we already proved that it will be true over here, so this part has to be true. This boolean has to be true as well. I hope that made sense. Now let's run our code. Okay, this part will probably take a long time because it's a pretty big piece of code, but it won't take forever. It's running right now. We're going to restart our runtime. Okay, there. See? The program basically printed out 5 question marks. I'm using Google Colab, so my hearts won't be printed out completely correctly, but if you use IDLE, your hearts will probably be printed properly. Oh, whoops. I printed out the wrong code. Don't forget that. Don't print out the wrong code. Okay, see, now I have hearts. So either way, whatever platform you use, Colab, IDLE, Apple, your life should be hearts. Now let's play the game. Guess the letter or the whole word. Let's guess A. Okay, we lost a life. There was no A. E, incorrect. You lose a life. I, O. Oh, we got I. We got I there. Okay. Since we got I, let's guess another letter. D. No, we lost a life again. Let's see. Let's guess S. Oh, we got it. S. Oh, I know what this letter. This word is shirt. See, you won. The secret word was shirt. Let's go. We won the game. See, this code works, and if it doesn't work for you, just tell me what's the problem and put it down in the comments, and I'll surely help you out. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. As you can see, this simple word guessing game can be made in just like a couple 20 line code. Don't worry, it's not that complicated. It looks complicated, but it's not that hard. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video for more quality Python. Next video, I'll be introducing a new concept called Turtle. We're going to be discussing Turtle graphics, and it'll be very It'll be a very interesting lesson. I hope you tune in for that too. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, subscribe and like the video for more quality Python. See you.